100 degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, wine with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea.
Y'all know we gotta run it back, y'all. We gotta run it back. Get in here, Diamond Gang. Let's go, run it back.
It's Yolanda the Greek. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea and wine with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea.
Let's go, y'all.
Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea,
Let's go.
spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea.
Yeah. What's going on, Diamond Gang? I am back. I said I was taking a break, but guess what? I chose not to. What's going on, EJ? What's up, everybody? New subscribers, if you're new here, welcome, welcome. Tonight is going to be another war update. I told you guys last night that Trump did a 10-day extension, Diamond Gang. So he claims that they asked for 7 days, and he actually gracefully gave them a 10-day extension. So without further ado, I got some good stuff. I got some good stuff tonight. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen. Let me add it to the stage so we could get right into it. Make my screen a little bigger. All right, let's get it. Let's go. Make it a little bigger. Hold on, Diamond Gang.
Regime change, we're going to dictate who the next supreme leader is. Those were clearly nonsense. Those were delusional. And I think that what we're seeing is a situation where targetry never makes up for a lack of strategy.
And let me tell y'all something. Trump thought he was going to be able to go in there and dictate a regime change to them. When he went in without a strategic plan, without options, that's where we went wrong. We had no plan B at all. Let's go.
And by that, I mean 15,000 targets have been hit. There have been significant military successes, but they are not matched by strategic outcomes. Now, some of the strategic outcomes early on, unconditional surrender, regime change, we're going to dictate who the next supreme leader is. Those were clearly nonsense. Those were delusional.
And at the end of the day, gang, we don't have no changes. Nothing, whatever their goals were to go in and whatever they plan to do, there's no difference.
Yes, strategically, I think Iran is in the driver's seat. And the only hope left for President Trump, throw enough conventional explosives and firepower against the Iranian state and its population.
And I'm going to say this right now, they are in the driver's seat because they have control of the Straits of Hormuz, which was very strategic on their end. So
to bring it to its knees.
So are you saying that as of today, Iran actually has a slight upper hand?
Yes, strategically, I think Iran is in the driver's seat. And the only hope left.
And that was our problem right there. We were not strategic at all. We came up with no plan. No one thought to say, well, what if they shut down the Straits of Hormuz? What is our next plan? We didn't think of that. We didn't, because we thought they would never do it. And when you think strategically, you got to think of things that the unbelievable. And that was the unbelievable.
Left for President Trump, who faces very real probability of humiliation at home and humiliation around the world, is that he can throw enough conventional explosives and firepower against the Iranian state and its population to bring it to its knees. Now, again, we did that to the Germans. It did not work. We did it to the Japanese, and it did not work. It took the nuclear option to change the condition in in Japan. So I think this is not going to produce what President Trump wants, which he wants to be able to stand there and accept the surrender of the Iranian nation to him. I don't see that happen.
Let me tell y'all right now, they are crumbling. They're going against each other. There's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes.
I said long ago that I think this president is unhinged and unwell. And I do think the people around him are incompetent. And
all jokes aside, they are concerned about his health right now. When they were swearing in, the guy that's taking Kristi Noem's place, he wasn't looking well at all. He could barely stand. His face was gaunt. So I don't know what's going on. They said that he needs to see a neurologist. I'm not sure, but let's go.
I think Secretary, I call him Christy Hegseth, because that's how I see him. Another vain person in a position that he is not up to. He's simply not up to it.
And that's another thing. A lot of these players are they're not qualified. They're not.
What I hope people will see and focus on is, instead of the video game boys having toys and blowing up stuff like they're talking about for this final blow, take a look at the rubble. This president's legacy is going to be rubble around the globe. And in that rubble are dead soldiers and dead children. On day one, we were horrified, weren't we, that this president's initial strike sadly by accident, I'm certain, included a girls' school, more than 100 children dead there. Will we ever forget the photograph of the dug out grave sites for these babies?
And it's just very sad because right now he has a bunch of yes men around him who they have limited qualifications.
This is a president whose legacy will be rubble around the globe. And he is being briefed by people who are not serious, who are not taking into account that we are now less safe. The Middle East is now a war zone. We have military members, my constituents, over in that region in harm's way. This is a very unserious president.
I'm getting rather frightened about what's going to happen next. The fact that he's sending 5,000.
Let me ask y'all something. Do you guys think that Trump would sacrifice lives to protect his ego? Do you guys think that? Because a lot of people believe that he would. They think his ego is just out of pocket right now.
Marines and 2,000 paratroopers, with reports in Washington that another 10,000 supported by fighter jet squadrons and armored vehicles are on the table, are being considered, is a hell of a lot more important than we're giving it credit for. Do you think Donald Trump would sacrifice other people's children to simply postpone the moment when he has to admit that this has all been a terrible mistake? Not that he ever would admit it, but when it becomes irrefutable.
Listen, EJ and Doc Spencer, I believe so too. I truly do.
In the eyes of many, many Americans, never mind the rest of the world. Do you think he would? How many Americans do you think? How many lives do you think he'd happily sacrifice in order to protect his own ego? That is an absolutely terrifying question, because you know that the answer is infinite. How many people would he sacrifice? How many Americans would he sacrifice?
He definitely gonna go down for history for this.
In order to protect his own ego. Countless.
That's what we've been seeing since this war started. Donald Trump saying something in the morning and then changing his mind later on. Last Friday, started saying that the United States was not ready for a ceasefire. Then in the afternoon.
Listen, Diamond Gang, people are getting very frustrated. And now the people that still had hope for Donald Trump and still was supporting him, now they are beginning to question. They're questioning themselves. They're questioning him. So his approval is way down.
He said that the situation could start winding down. And then on Saturday, he threatened Iran with 48 hours for destroying its power infrastructure if it did not open the Strait of Hormuz. Then that deadline was extended for another 5 days. And what we're hearing right now is that it's going to be that deadline extended for another 10 days. The day that Donald Trump has set to destroy Iran's power infrastructure, if it does not cooperate in opening the Strait of Hormuz, is April 6th at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And this is happening as the U.S. continues to deploy military forces to the
Diamond Gang. He's doing this to Batam. They are still denying it. I believe that he's talking to Pakistan. Do I believe Pakistan asked for an extension? Absolutely, because they want this to work. They want negotiations to happen. He claims that they asked for 7 days and he gave them 10. This is all to Batam. Eventually, it will be boots on the ground.
The Middle East, we've been seeing that they're deploying Marines, 2,500 Marines from Japan, 2,500 Marines from California, the 82nd Airborne Division, of course, increasing the military pressure. There seems to be that the president right now is trying to get away from this war, a war that is having a big impact, especially on his popularity. We're seeing.
And I'm going to show you guys tonight how Israel just keep doing things to amp this war up. They do not want it to end. They don't want a ceasefire.
Some polls, recent polls by Reuters, suggesting that Trump's popularity right now is around 36%. And certainly there's lots of pressure on the U.S. president, especially here on the United States, to say how long this war is going to last.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Now let's take a listen to what the foreign prime minister of Iran had to say.
Distinguished delegates, dear colleagues, Iran stands today amid the throes of an...
Because once again, he's going to take you guys through the steps all the way up until the first attack?
Illegal war imposed by two bullying nuclear-armed regimes, the United States and Israel. This war of aggression is blatantly unjustified and brutal. They initiated this aggression on 28 February, while Iran and the United States were engaged in a diplomatic process to resolve Americans' alleged concerns over Iran's nuclear program.
And gang, we've been down this road. They were getting ready to start the 6 rounds of negotiations, and bingo. And at this negotiations, they had offered to take the uranium that they had and liquefy it. Let's go.
Trade diplomacy for a second time in the course of 9 months by torpedoing the negotiating table. Among the most harrowing manifestations of this aggression was the calculated, phased assault on Shajarat Tayyibeh Elementary School in the city of Mina.
And yes, guys, that is, although it may have been a mistake, that is considered a war crime. When we hit that elementary school, that's considered a war crime. That's off limits.
South of Iran, where more than 175 students and teachers were slaughtered in cold blood. This barbaric attack is but the visible tip of a far bigger iceberg, one that conceals.
Diamond Gang, I just need one favor. We got so much information to go over, and I brought a lot of good things. I did take some time out to put this together. Can you just please hit the like? You don't have to super chat me, cash at me, super stickers, none of that. I ask for likes and likes only because they're free. Now, if you want to support the channel, I thank you, but just the like will do today.
Beneath its surface, far graver catastrophes, namely the normalization of the most abhorrent violations of human rights and humanitarian law, and the audacity to commit atrocity crimes with impunity. Mr. President, at a time when the American-Israeli aggressors, in their own assertions, possess the most advanced technologies and the highest precision military and data systems, no one can believe that the attack.
And he did this late yesterday. He did not come out directly to speak about any negotiations
on the school was anything other than deliberate and intentional. Targeting Shajarat Tayyibeh School was a war crime and a crime against humanity, one that demands unequivocal condemnation by all and unambiguous accountability for the culprits.
But I want you guys to be able to hear his side of what happened during negotiations.
This atrocity cannot be justified, cannot be concealed, and must not be met with silence and indifference. The attack on Shajarat Tayyibeh School in Minab was not a mere incident nor a miscalculation. The United States' contradictory remarks aimed at justifying their crime could not, in any manner, elude their responsibility. To denounce such a merciless assault on a place inherently civilian, a place where the most innocents reside and pursue knowledge, is not merely a legal obligation under human rights frameworks. It is a moral and human imperative. Our conscience will judge us.
And really quick, let me tell you guys this right now. Now they were bullying and they were charging $2 million to go through the straits. Well, guess what? Right before I came on, they literally shut it down, sending ships back. So nothing is going through the straits right now. This war is getting ready to escalate.
More profoundly than any tribunal ever could. Distinguished delegates, Shajarat Tayyibeh Elementary School has not been the only casualty of American-Israeli atrocity crimes during the past 27 days of their illegal war. Human rights and international humanitarian law have been massively and systematically violated by the invaders in an unprecedentedly brutal manner. They are targeting civilians and civilian infrastructures with no regard for laws of war and basic principles of humanity and civility.
Hold on really quick. You said Trump is speaking to himself. Iran, yeah, they are mocking him. Do I believe he's speaking to himself? No, I do believe he's talking to Pakistan. He is. And they're sending messages through, that way, but he's not talking to anyone directly.
More than 600 schools have been demolished or damaged across Iran, and more than 1,000 students and teachers martyred or wounded as the result. The aggressors, who are arrogantly shouting, "No mercy, no quarters," and threatening to strike Iran's vital infrastructure, have been attacking hospitals, ambulances, health workers, Red Crescent rescuers, refineries, water sources, and residential areas. War crime and crime against humanity are not sufficiently describing the gravity of the atrocities they are committing.
Please, Diamond Gang, hit the like for your girl. Hit the like, please, and thank you.
The aggressors' targeting pattern, accompanied by their rhetoric, leave little doubt as to their clear intent to commit genocide. Distinguished colleagues, this unjust war of whims by the United States and Israel against the noble nation of...
You said, what do you expect from a felon? Herf, put who you talking about in the chat. Trump?
Of Iran is the direct result of silence in the face of earlier manifestations of lawlessness and atrocity in occupied Palestine, Lebanon, and elsewhere. Indifference and silence in the face of injustices would bring no security and peace. It would invite more insecurity and right violations. The United Nations and the core values it embodies, as well as the overall human rights framework, are at serious stake. You all need to call out the aggressor.
Diamond Gang, I told you guys yesterday, he was actually placed on a list. Israel had him on a hit list, okay? We had to tell Israel, stop, because if you do this, we will not have anyone to negotiate with at all.
And let them know that the community of states, the human collective conscience, hold them accountable for the abhorrent crimes they are committing against Iranians. Iran has never sought war. Iranians are a peaceful, noble nation inheriting one of the richest civilizations on earth. Yet, they have demonstrated absolute resolve and determination.
Now he's getting ready to get into what happened leading up to the attacks.
To defend themselves against the brutal aggressors who know no boundary in perpetrating all sorts of crimes. A defense that shall persist as long as needed. And thank you for your attention.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, the Times of Israel's report.
Sorry, gang. I thought I got the second half of this, but I didn't. Now, this guy right here, he's a good guy. He looks at it on both sides and he breaks it down. Okay. And he's basically saying, yes, we can do all of these things, but at what cost?
Reporting that President Trump thinks that one strong ground operation would be enough to kind of pressure the Iranian regime into surrendering. Now, this comes as additional U.S. forces are moving into the region. A number of Marines set to arrive tomorrow, I believe, from the 31st Marine Expeditionary
So, Diamond Gang, we went over this yesterday. They're going to try to take over Kark Allen.
Unit. We got the 82nd Airborne, around a brigade, it sounds like, might be moving over, a couple thousand. Another Marine Expeditionary Unit coming from the U.S. set to arrive next month. The Times of Israel says, quote, an official from one of the countries mediating between the United States and Iran tells the Times of Israel that President Trump appears to be leaning towards a U.S. ground operation against Iran, with Washington convinced that Tehran will buckle under such military pressure. They say the
Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Hit the like for me, y'all. I got 200 people in the room and 17 likes. Can you please hit the like for me?
The official says that the U.S. privately recognizes that Iran is not likely to agree to the concessions presented in Washington's 15-point plan. In turn, has
And here's the thing, Diamond Gang. They presented that 15-point plan 2 days ago. Iran said no. Are they coming up with any alternative ideas? I don't think so.
Dispatch troops to the region to carry out some sort of ground operation in the coming days. Just based off of what we've seen, I don't think we are one ground operation away from the Iranian regime surrendering. there's a lot of different ways that could go and a lot of different ways it could play out, right? Are we going to try to take one of the islands? Are we trying to take shoreline to help open the Strait of Hormuz? There's a lot of challenges there, no doubt. Are we trying to seize nuclear material at Natanz or Isfahan? Every one of those comes with its risks, its pros and its cons. I don't know that any one of those, even successfully pulled off, whatever 100% success looks like, leads to the Iranian regime as it sits today negotiating their own surrender. I do think at the beginning of the conflict, there was a lot of hope put in the idea that heavy bombing campaigns and air superiority.
And peep this, Diamond Gang. After this is all said and done, did it change regime? Like, all of this is for nothing. Nothing has changed.
And taking out the leadership would maybe force a collapse inside of the IRGC or maybe open the door for the Iranian people to rise up. That didn't happen then. And there's not really any indications that we can see publicly, right?
Bingo. It didn't happen then. And right now, we can't see it happening now. There's no signs of any change. None. So what was this for?
Now that we're closer to that today. Either way, it sounds like, again, according to the Times of Israel, one consideration right now is a ground operation in the near future would be enough to topple the Iranian regime.
President Trump just extended his own deadline for Iran to blow up their power plants if talks with the United States were not going according to plan by 10 more days. Now, the president says he's moving his own deadline actually at the request of the Iranians and that they wanted 7 days, but he told them he'll give them 10.
Listen to Trump. Hit the like, y'all. Come on, y'all. Give me a break. Hit the like, please, please, please.
They said to me very nicely through my people, could we have more time? Because we're talking.
And y'all see this, Iranian leaders. Ali is gone. Who else on this list is gone? Mohan gone, I believe. Like, this is crazy. Let's go.
About tomorrow night, which is pretty quick. They asked for 7 and I gave them 10. You got 10 days. And they were very thankful about that.
Now, the president says they have until April 6th to see how these talks go. He describes them right now as going very well, but we haven't seen Iran acknowledge that they have made any concessions when it
And again, Diamond Gang, he's talking to Pakistan.
Comes to the diplomacy that's happening behind closed doors. The president's threat, though, does come as there is growing concern here in Washington over this war and whether or not the administration actually has a clear exit strategy, something that lawmakers.
We don't have an exit strategy, y'all.
In Washington have been hearing a lot about, especially amid those rising gas prices that Americans are feeling every day at the pump.
War about to hit its 5th week. President Trump is feeling pressure, even from some in his own party, to bring the conflict to a close. And
listen, y'all, they are literally arguing. Yesterday, I told you guys cyber attacks. They got a hold of Patel, his email, his pictures. I got all of that. So stay tuned. Let's go.
For the first time, he's revealing how he knows Iranian leaders are ready to talk.
They want to make a deal.
Insisting Iran is, quote, begging to bring an end to the war.
I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators.
President Trump rejected reports he's the one desperate to make a deal.
I'm the opposite of desperate. I don't care.
The president said he's postponing attacks on Iran's infrastructure for 10 days at Iran's request.
They asked for 7.
He's postponing it because they don't know what to do and how to get up out of this. They hit that infrastructure, the whole world will suffer. Let's go.
You're going to say, oh, Trump's a terrible negotiator. They asked for 7, and I said, I'm going to give you 10.
But with Iran denying any direct talks and mocking the U.S. as negotiating with yourself, Trump explained how he's confident progress.
Listen, progress is not happening. Right before I came on, 2 boats was turned around. They shut the Strait of Hormuz completely off. They're not letting anything through, Diamond Gang.
This is being made.
Can I reveal the present?
For the first time, he revealed that big, expensive gift from Iran was 10 oil tankers allowed through the Strait of Hormuz.
I said, well, I guess we're dealing with the right people.
And guess what? They let them through, and it did not benefit the U.S. at all.
He says the move proves the people he's talking to have power to control the key shipping corridor Iran has effectively closed off for almost a month. Oil tanker traffic is down 90 to 95% since before the war. Economists now expect U.S. inflation to jump to more than 4% this year because of the conflict. Mortgage rates moved higher for the fourth straight week, while mortgage applications are down. Global oil prices are up more than 40%, and the American
It's not going to change anytime soon. Watch how you guys spend.
cost of gas is up by almost $1 per gallon in the last month.
The president says he's not yet ready to roll back the federal gas tax, which is more than 18 cents a gallon and $0.25 on a gallon of diesel. But he said it's something he could do if necessary.
Mediators have just confirmed that Donald Trump told a big lie yesterday involving Iran. Now people are starting to wonder if he just made all of this up simply to influence the price of oil. So yesterday he said,
I don't know about that. That maybe not. I mean, after they did that insider trading thing a couple of days ago, you just never know.
as per Iranian government request, I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6th. Talks are ongoing despite statements from the fake news and others. They are going very well. But according to peace mediators, Iran hasn't requested a 10-day pause on strikes, and it's yet to deliver a final request to a 15-point plan.
Remember, Diamond Gang, yesterday I showed you guys Pakistan put out a message trying to reach Iran saying this is our last chance. They are the ones who asked for the extension
To end the war. They did tell mediators they're interested in negotiations, but the country's leadership hasn't weighed in yet to give a final decision. The U.S. 15-point plan would basically swap an end to sanctions for Iranian concessions on every point of conflict between the two sides, including its nuclear program and missile programs. But Iranian officials have already demanded the U.S. scale back its demands before they agree to meet to discuss a potential ceasefire. They also ruled out discussing Iran's missile program as
bingo right there. So they got to come up with a whole nother 15-point plan before Iran will even think about talking to them.
a starting point to the talks and doesn't want to commit to ending the enrichment of uranium forever. So Donald Trump is lying, and the odds of a ceasefire remain low because both sides are making demands the other one can't accept.
Mr. Secretary, are you going to ask G7 to help with the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, it's in their interest to help. I mean, the other countries get far more of their fuel from there than we do. So,
but what kind of help are you going to ask? Wine sweepers, naval help?
And at one point, they were able to negotiate their own deals directly with Iran. So it's like, why would they jump in and help when they can just go straight to the person who has it?
Well, those specifics, I'll leave it to the Department of War as to exactly what, but it's in their interest. It's in their national interest. I think he just made an observation, and the observation is that the United States is constantly being asked to help in a war, and we have more than any other country in the world, on a war that's happening in another continent, in Ukraine. But when the U.S. had a need, he didn't get proper positive responses. So right now he's just making the observation that, I think there was a couple of the leaders in.
Listen, at the end of the day, he didn't consult those our allies before going in. He didn't. They got to think about what's safe for them and what's right for their country.
Europe, who said that this was not Europe's war. Well, Ukraine is not America's war, and yet we've contributed more to that fight than any other country in the world. So it'll be something to examine.
Right. How about contributing to the fight here at home in America? We got so many problems.
The president will have to take into account down the road. Well, it's not help for us. Like I said, very little of our energy comes through the Straits of Hormuz. It's the world that has a great interest in that. And so they should step up and deal with it.
Mr. Secretary, who are you?
Can the strait be reopened without the use of troops on the ground, boots on the ground by part of the
That's
U.S.?
a tactical military question. I'm not going to,
They believe that it can be done by air. I'm just saying, not the Trump administration, just other people that weighed in. They feel like we literally can do this by air. We don't need troops on the ground. However, we got troops over there. Let's go.
Speculate on what it would take. It can be open tomorrow if Iran stops threatening global shipping, which is an outrage and a violation of international law for all these countries that care about international law. They should be doing something.
They at war. They just like they said, we committed a war crime when we hit the school. Everybody's just committing crimes.
Think about it.
Iran's Revolutionary Guards released a statement this morning saying that the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and they say that 3 container ships were turned back after warnings from the...
Y'all see that? Now it's closed altogether. Nothing is going through. Nothing. Can y'all please hit the like? Please and thank you. It's free. Don't be scared. Hit the like. I got over 200, almost 300 people in here with 29 likes. Can y'all please hit the like?
Iranian Navy. Now, that follows President Trump's comments yesterday that Iran had allowed 10 oil tankers, at least some of them Pakistani flagged, through the Strait of Hormuz, which he described as a gift to him from the Iranian regime. Now, the background to all of this is that while Iran has been hammered militarily in this conflict, it has played a powerful economic card by effectively controlling which ships can sail through the Strait of Hormuz. That is a narrow choke point through which around 20% of the
And remember, yesterday they was charging $2 million per ship to get through. And you know, guys, what they did with that money, spun it for more supplies for the war.
world's oil must pass. That's around 20 million barrels per day. And that's caused global economic pain and put pressure on President Trump to end the war. At least arguably, that strengthens Iran's hand in any negotiations, though the Iranians have said that they are.
That part, when I first started this live stream, we talked about being strategic, and we went in with no type of strategy or plan B.
Not negotiating and have dismissed an American ceasefire plan. There's been speculation that to hit back, the US could send in ground troops to seize control of Iran's Karg Island, through which the Iranians export around 90% of their oil.
So what do we know about these conditions, these counter-proposals that Iran has reportedly sent to the United States? And let's be clear, these are not negotiations. These are messages being passed.
Bingo. Messages and not negotiations. Okay? So we made that clear.
From one country to another via an intermediary. Iran has said that it wants an immediate end to the aggression against it. It wants a guarantee it's not going to be attacked again. It wants war reparations, damages for all the destruction that's been wreaked upon its country in the last month. It wants an end to wars against its proxies, or its resistance groups, as it calls them, people like Hezbollah in Lebanon. And it wants an assertion of its sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Now, most of these are going to be seriously.
And remember, Diamond Gang, I told you guys, they were literally asking for a toll booth. So they really want to control this. And then Trump was talking about maybe they'll control it together. Like, come on, man. Just think, Cuba's next, y'all. Get ready.
Problematic. It probably knows that the United States and Israel, for that matter, are not going to accept those terms. But any hopes of an easy early off-ramp for President Trump, I think, will be dashed by how difficult some of these Iranian demands are going to be for the United States to swallow.
How close were you? How close was Iran to a nuclear deal, a new nuclear deal?
Now we're going to go back to this. How close was Iran to actually making nukes? Let's get it.
Deal with the US in Geneva on the eve of this war. The Omani foreign minister said a deal was, quote, within reach, that there was an agreement on big issues like zero stockpiling and enrichment. But the IAEA chief, Rafael Grossi, has said there was a discussion, yes, but, quote, no agreement at that point. What's the Iranian position on what happened at Geneva?
And remember, once again, Diamond Gang, they was right at the point where Iran was discussing possibly liquefying or just doing something other with the uranium. And then that's when we struck.
On the eve of this war.
I refer you to what was said by Omani mediator. I think he was trusted by both Iran and the United States. Rafael Grossi was not part of that. Everyone knows that Rafael Grossi has always been simply on the side of the spoilers, unfortunately. But what Mr. Busaidi said was correct in saying that the deal was within reach. He characterized the negotiations as significantly progressing. And others also.
So what they're saying is that they had progress before the first strike.
So the UK authorities that were involved in this process, not only in this process, but they were aware of the negotiations. He also said that the flexibility shown by Iran was unprecedented. So everyone knows that.
Just to be clear, Dr. Bavai, just to be clear for our viewers who are not all nuclear experts, you say Iran was being flexible. Just give me the 3 top bullet points of what you had been flexible on at Geneva. What did you agree to with the Omanis?
First, they have been telling the board for the past 4 decades that Iran is at the verge of developing nuclear weapon. That's a big lie, because our nuclear program has been safeguarded. We had the most sophisticated inspection regime on our nuclear program. You cannot find a single paragraph, single report from the IAEA indicating that Iran's nuclear program is deviating to.
Kent said that as well. The guy that just actually quit his job.
Weaponization. Secondly, their concern was about Iran's highly enriched uranium. We agreed to dilute them.
Bingo. I told you guys that. They agreed to dilute it and sell it as something else. So again, for the ones that's in the chat who believe that they were creating a nuclear weapon, if they agreed to dilute it, and they said this 1,000 times, and to sell it as something else, what is the reason? What is the reason? I'm still trying to figure out a clean, clear answer of why we are in this position right now. Put it in the chat if you know.
Thirdly, they were concerned about the accumulation of highly enriched uranium. We said that we would enrich uranium only in accordance with our needs.
Meanwhile, they were on their 6th round of negotiations. That's far. That's far.
It would mean that there would be no accumulation of highly enriched uranium.
Just hours before we started this interview, Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social website that Iranian negotiators, he called you strange, and he said you are begging for a deal with the US. Is he telling the truth?
Tell me, how I can really believe this diplomacy? Basically,
Trump got to stop. He got to stop it.
Any diplomacy in this administration, they betrayed diplomacy 2 times for the past 9 months. So I think it would be really insane for anyone to take what they say prima facie as believable.
So again, they said that they weren't begging for anything. Please, Diamond Gang, get me to 100 likes. I got 41 likes. I need 60 more. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
We cannot simply ignore the bitter experiences we had the past 9 months of negotiations with the United States. And again,
so 9 months they were in negotiations with the U.S. 9 long months.
Please, I should remind your audience that we had a deal with the United States in 2015.
Yes.
But 3 years later, they withdrew from the deal unilaterally for no reason. And then we tried so many times to reinvigorate that deal. Every time they moved the goalposts, they betrayed diplomacy. So that's their fault.
Going forward, would you prefer to negotiate with the vice president over Kushner and Witkoff?
Let's go.
I can tell you that the Iranians didn't have a good...
Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, they want J.D. Vance. He didn't say it, but that's who they want to negotiate with. So if it goes down, that's who they'll be talking to, Vance.
Experience with those envoys. I think it's a sure thing. The Iranians cannot trust those who agreed to have another round of negotiations on Monday, and then just 2 days before that, they launched an aggressive war against Iran.
I asked, what's the war looking like militarily? What's it looking like diplomatically? A lot of conflicting signals.
Let's take a look at the conflicting signals, Diamond Gang. Let's go.
And this source told me militarily, the feeling with the military is they need 2 more weeks at least. They still have targets that they want to hit to continue to degrade.
Yeah. So in the midst of trying to negotiate, Trump and Israel said that they had more targets that they wanted to hit. saying we're not done. We're trying to negotiate, but we still got targets to get. Insane.
Not only what Iran has today, but their long-term capabilities of striking out against allies in the region and the United States. They do not believe that Iran can indefinitely hold the straits, and believe even that ability is going to erode over the next 2 weeks. And so they're not rushing to do a deal. Diplomatically, this official insists, and certainly is in a position to know that diplomatic talks are, in fact, going in a positive direction with the Pakistanis and the Qataris.
Bingo, there go your answer right there. Trump is talking to Pakistan.
And that they are talking and communicating and will continue to do that so long as it remains positive. If they move in a positive direction, perhaps there'll even be a face-to-face meeting, but they suspect that they'll find that out actually based on how Iran is feeling over the next 2 weeks.
Listen, we got 10 days. I'm hoping that it happens, but I don't think it is. And I really do truly believe that those troops will be on the ground. The ones that's over there, and there's thousands. I want to say 15, at least 15,000.
And they did underline the fact that, yes, the president did delay striking energy infrastructure for another 10 days. And the feeling inside the White House, the feeling with negotiators simply is, if you blow up their energy infrastructure, then there's really very little to negotiate with.
Boom. And I keep telling you guys that Trump is trying to buy time, and these dudes they're getting worse. They literally blocked the entire straits today. They had turned 2 ships around.
And there's very little to negotiate with, because, of course, that would have long-term devastating effects on Iran, regardless of who's running the country. So it looks like, according to my source, at least 2 more weeks, based on what they're saying today, at least 2 more weeks of continuing to degrade Iran's military capabilities and hopefully degrade Iran's ability to hold the straits hostage.
Iran has played an incredibly powerful economic card in this conflict, effectively controlling which oil tankers can pass through the Strait of Hormuz, causing a global economic...
They're not playing checkers. They were playing chess when they made this move right here.
The impact and piling pressure on President Trump to end the war. All of that is despite the military pain that the US and Israel continue to inflict on Iran. The US says it's now hit over 10,000 targets in Iran. Israel announced yesterday that it's killed yet another Iranian leader, the naval commander of the Revolutionary Guards. But if you're President Trump and perhaps you didn't see the troubles in the Strait of Hormuz coming, what do? Well,
that part, he made no plan B. I'm going to keep saying it. He never thought this was going to happen.
one option is that you try to negotiate an end to the war, which Trump says he's doing and claims the talks are going very well, although the Iranians say they've dismissed an American ceasefire plan. They also know that, at least arguably, they're in a good bargaining position because of oil. There's speculation about a possible second option, which is that the US could hit back by, for instance, sending ground troops to seize Iran's Karg Island, through which the Iranians export.
At some point, Diamond Gang, Trump got to make a decision. He's going to have to.
Around 90% of their oil. But that's a bigger military commitment for the US, and there's a strong likelihood it would not be popular with Americans. Thirdly, President Trump could just declare victory and unilaterally end the war. But without...
He walk away and declare a victory, people are going to say, okay, well, what was this about? No regime change. Things is just still the same. Like, he better not.
Regime change in Iran, leaving around 1,000 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% in the hands of the Iranian regime, and without any guarantees that Iran will give up its nuclear program. If President Trump does that, then there will be some big questions about what, in the final analysis, this war has achieved.
Bingo. And that's it in a nutshell. What so far has this war achieved? Nothing. They still got the uranium. They got the Strait of Hormuz on lockdown, and there's no regime change. None. For those in the chat, who which one of you guys are okay with them putting boots on the ground? Who's okay with that? If you okay with them putting boots on the ground, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you cool with that. If you're not okay with them putting boots on the ground, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to see where people's heads is. Let's go.
Pentagon is actively considering sending 10,000 additional U.S. ground troops.
Y'all hear that? 10,000. They already sent 5,000, right? You said yes, sign MAGA up. They already put 5,000. Now they are trying to send 10,000 more. Yeah, Judith. Yeah, Mary. Yeah, EJ. Yeah, Muslims. All right, let's go. So they're trying to put 10,000 more down. Let's get it.
To the Middle East right now. At least that's according to the Wall Street Journal, with a story that they broke yesterday on the 26th of March.
So that'll make 15 to 16,000 troops, Diamond Gang. Can y'all hit the like? Come on, please. Get me to 100 likes at least. Let's go.
2026. And tons of other organizations reported on this immediately afterwards, including Reuters, Washington Examiner, New York Post, Daily Mail, Jerusalem Post, TRT World, Times of Israel, Al Jazeera. Tons of organizations reported on this. Now, the Wall Street Journal said that their sources for this came from inside of the Pentagon, although they remained anonymous inside of the article. This additional 10,000 troops that could potentially be deploying to U.S. Central Command would be in addition to the forces that are already deployed to the region, including the roughly 5,000 Marines and sailors.
Bingo, I just told y'all 15 to 16,000. I ain't playing. I've been watching.
That are out there, and several thousand paratroopers from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division. This potential deployment would include infantry units and lots of armored vehicles, and officials have
Good night, Ashley.
described it as providing President Trump with more military options to leverage in the region while they're in the middle of negotiations. And according to the article, they also said that there's been no final decision made on exact locations, timelines, or whether the full 10,000 would even deploy. Now, a Pentagon spokesperson and CENTCOM spokesperson declined to comment on the plans when asked, with the White House stating that, quote, all announcements regarding troop deployments will come from the Department of War. They also emphasized the fact that they wanted the president to always have all military options at his disposal. Now, prior to these recent reinforcements, U.S. Central Command had approximately 50,000 U.S. troops inside the region, including air and naval forces with carriers, combat aircraft.
Y'all hear these numbers?
In missile defenses. Based on what I've seen, a lot of people are speculating that this is just to maintain some sort of credible military pressure on the ground for negotiating purposes. Although,
meanwhile, they were putting mines everywhere around Carg Island.
if they do have that many people on the ground, if they decide that they want to do something major like a ground operation, then they'll have the manpower to do so. Now, just
We'll have the manpower, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, there will be fatalities.
to be clear, there's been no final decision that's been publicly announced by any official sources, at least not anonymously, and the proposal's still under discussion. And again, the Wall Street Journal cited anonymous officials with no on-the-record Pentagon confirmation of the 10,000 troop plan.
So on February 28th, as the war kicked off, you issued a statement calling this a
Diamond Gang, this conversation right here was so dope. He's looking at it on both sides. Let's go.
war of choice with no strategic endgame. We're 4 weeks on from that. We've seen a number of operations played out. No doubt you've seen additional and new intelligence since then. Has your opinion or perspective of this conflict changed?
No, I mean, it's played out about the way I think I expect and a lot of other people expect. And there's sort of three pieces of this to keep in mind. One is divided into two, which is the objective. And there's sort of two.
Let's get into it. Two broad objectives, y'all. Please listen to this. This is so good.
Two broad objectives that you could have for going into this war. One is to significantly aid Iran's military capability. And that
we've done that. We've done that.
That I think we've done. So that has been a positive. The problem is significantly degrade does not eliminate, particularly in the age of drones. And missiles are increasingly easy to build. I mean, the Houthis in Yemen, dirt poor country, running out of oil, running out of water, backwards. They're able to generate missiles that can shut down the sea lane in the Red Sea. It's apparently not that hard to build a missile or a drone.
Y'all hear that? So they saying that it's nothing for them to build. But not only that, Russia's helping them.
drones. So while we've degraded Iran's capability, have we degraded it to the point where there's a strategic advantage to be gained from it? I think that's highly debatable. Iran still has the ability to threaten us, to threaten Israel, to threaten the Gulf states, to threaten the global oil supply. So what have we accomplished with that degrade mission? And that was one of the things that worried me was, Trump administration never said, okay, we're going to degrade them and this is what it's going to accomplish. They skipped.
Bingo. So this is what I'm saying, Diamond Gang. What have we accomplished since we degraded their military? Nothing. Nothing. We got nothing. Let's go.
That second part. Now, the second part that's sort of floated out there is that we will hit Iran hard enough that they will fundamentally change their behavior.
Y'all hear that? We're not changing their behavior. And he can ready tell us why. Let's go.
Either because A, the regime topples and a brand new group of folks come in, or B, the regime is sufficiently broken that they will change their policies. And what policies are we talking about? It really comes down to three things. There's a fourth one that people are worried about, but we never really had any particular plan for
Still no regime change.
dealing with. Number one, their nuclear program. Number two, their ballistic missile program. And number three, their support for terrorist proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas. We wanted all of that stopped. The fourth one is for them to stop, killing their people and brutally repressing them. We never really had much of an option for that except for the regime change piece. So how do you get them to fundamentally change their behavior? And I always
Bingo. Somebody answer that in the chat. How can we get them to change their behavior? We can't.
question that piece. I mean, if we had a strategy that could make that happen, if you and I could wake up,
we would literally have to stay in this for years and years and years. You don't just go to war, say, okay, we won, and there's going to be a change. It don't happen that way.
Tomorrow, and Iran was no longer supporting terrorists, abandoned their nuclear program, had abandoned their ballistic missile program, and was governing their country better, I'd be happy. I'll get to the third piece in a minute, which gives a little
This is how these forever wars come about. Let's go.
bit of a caveat on that. But there was never any plan to accomplish that. And I'll tell you, the reason I felt this way is this is a subject that we've been talking about for probably 15 years. 15 years through multiple different administrations as the top Democrat in the Armed Services.
15 years, multiple administrations. That's why no president was willing to attack Iran. Let's go.
Committee. I have sat through endless military briefings discussing exactly this subject. Massive frustration. Obama, Trump, Biden, Obama with what the Iran regime was doing. So what are we going to do about it? All right, let's talk to the military. Is there an option on the table? And every time we went through it, it was clear that we didn't really have the capability militarily to fundamentally break the Iranian regime and force a change in their behavior. We could use it as a way.
Did y'all hear what he just said? Did y'all hear that? I'm going to take it back. Let's go. Hit the like, hit the like.
No longer supporting terrorists, abandoned their nuclear program, had abandoned their ballistic missile program, and was governing their country better. I'd be happy. I'll get to the third piece in a minute, which gives a little bit of a caveat on that. But there was never any plan to accomplish that. And I'll tell you, the reason I felt this way is this is a subject that we've been talking about for probably 15 years. 15 years through multiple different administrations as the top Democrat in the Armed Services Committee. I have sat through endless military briefings discussing exactly this subject. Massive frustration. Obama, Trump, Biden, Obama with what the Iran regime was doing. So what are we going to do about it? All right, let's talk to the military. Is there an option on the table? And every time we went through it, it was clear that we didn't really have the capability militarily to fundamentally break the Iranian regime and force a change in their behavior. We could.
Bingo. So what makes Trump think that we could do it now? Okay.
Use it as a way to contain them a little bit, but there wasn't this victory option that Trump seems to think that was there. And this was pretty universal amongst the military people that I spoke to. And it's because Iran is dug in. After 47 years, this isn't just one cult of personality person at the
47 years. 47 years. And Do we really think that we could go in and change this country?
The top running it. It is layer upon layer upon layer of the Islamic Republic, and crucially, the military portion of it, the IRGC, their militias, that have an iron grip on that country, and they're not going to let it go. And bombing them for a few weeks or a few months just wasn't going to change.
Bingo. Bombing it. What did Trump say? 4 to 6 weeks. He believes that he could bring regime change by bombing them for 4 to 6 weeks. It's not going to happen.
That, which brings us to number 3, and that is, what is the cost of engaging in this? Even if you had, let's say, a 20% chance that I'm wrong, that you could bomb them, you could launch this military campaign, and you could change the regime. The cost of that, first of all, placing an enormous number of U.S. service members at risk, and we've seen how.
Big risk. And guess what? If they put boots on the ground, an even larger risk.
13 service members have died. And frankly, given the war that was launched and what Iran has thrown at us, we're lucky that the number is that low. Over 300 now have been wounded. Over 1,000 civilians have been killed. The tragedy of killing 150 girls at that girls' school in Tehran, with a mistaken missile strike. And then the global economy, the impact on the oil price, and Iran having such an easy ability to shut that down. We knew that was the card Iran would play. Once you said to Iran, we're coming.
He may have known, but I don't think Trump and them was thinking that way. He even said it out of his own mouth. He was surprised that they did it. Please hit the like, Diamond Gang, hit the like.
Coming for you. Not just we're trying to back you down, but we're trying to eliminate you. They will fight like their very survival is on the line, which means they will try to drag everybody into it, which they did. So, is degrading them really going to get us to a point that makes it worth it? Do we have a plan that could actually fundamentally change the Iranian regime? And are we prepared to pay the cost? And my
Listen, it would take longer than 4 to 6 weeks, Diamond Gang. That's for sure.
Answers was no, no, and no. So that's why I didn't support this war before it started. And I still think at this point, our best play is to end it.
So to that end, if we were to end the war, what does some sort of responsible off-ramp look like here? Because it seems...
So let's take a look at what he feels or what he thinks. What would be the best exit? Let's go.
Like, if we just cut and run, that could be strategically very problematic for the United States long term. So what kind of...
We're trapped, Diamond Gang. We're trapped.
Off-ramp is there?
Yeah, look, if no matter what we do at this point, it's all bad. Okay, I'm not going to say there's an easy way to get out of this, declare victory, and everything's fine.
Bingo. He said either way it goes, it's all bad.
Having started this was the mistake. Now we are just sifting through a series of bad options. But I don't want us to buy into the sunk cost fallacy. In my opinion, we stayed in Afghanistan probably 10.
Bingo. And I just said this. This is how we get caught up in these forever wars, Diamond Gang. I need 30 more likes. Hit the like. Listen to what he got to say.
Years, 12 years longer than we should have because of that sunk cost fallacy, because of the belief that, well, we've gone this far, we got to keep trying. And, I don't think we should make that same mistake. And look, yes, if we were to say, basically what we would do is we would say, we have accomplished our objectives of significantly degrading Iran and putting Iran on notice.
I would take that as a win. I swear to God, I would take that as a win. That right there, y'all. Hit the like.
That if they do something we don't like, we are going to smack them, and we're just going to keep doing it. All right. Now, there's flaws in that. To begin with, how much could Iran rebuild? How much could they continue to threaten? Would they really change their behavior at that point? But the biggest flaw in this, and this is the scariest thought that I've had after at breakfast with Secretary Hegseth a couple of days ago, and we were talking about the Red Sea. And I don't know if you remember Operation Rough Rider, when we bombed Yemen for 3 months, because Yemen was threatening commercial traffic in the Red Sea. And they were also threatening U.S. military ships. So we bombed them for 3.5 months, and Yemen stopped attacking ships in the Red Sea. And this is portrayed as an enormous victory. But here's the problem. Commercial traffic in the Red Sea hasn't increased hardly at all from the beginning of Rough Rider to today.
So it slowed it down. It didn't help. It didn't help at all.
And the reason for that is the commercial ships are like, okay, these are the Houthis. They're a little bit unstable. We know they have the missiles and the capability. Apparently, they've decided to stop, trying to blow us up when we go by, but we really don't want to find out. So we're going around the Cape.
That part, and it may happen in this situation.
Cape of Good Hope. We're looking at other options. We're not going to the Red Sea just because of the threat of what the Houthis could do. And at this point, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to remove that threat as long as the Houthis are still running Yemen. Well, that's what Iran has now done with the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, because after this is all said and done, who could trust them? Yo, this is crazy, Diamond Gang. I need y'all, please hit the like.
I mean, they've attacked some ships, but they haven't attacked every ship. They haven't attacked most of them. But the threat that they might, these are commercial ships. They're not in a military campaign.
I'm not going to lie. I would still take that route. If it was me, I would still take that route. Go ahead and exit. Tell them they got their smack on the wrist. If they play, we will be back. But it's time for us to get up out of this, Diamond Gang.
Not, managing risk and saying, well, there's a 90% chance it will be successful, so let's go. No. They want a 100% chance of being successful. No, nobody, puts a bunch of automobiles in the back of a car and says, we're going to well, I hope we make it. So that threat now hangs over us, and Trump is blustering like the classic bully who finally punched someone in the face who decided, fuck you, I'm going to punch you back. And now he's like, no, that's not the way this is supposed to work. You're supposed to.
He definitely didn't think it was going to. He thought it was going to work like Venezuela. It was so good in Venezuela. He thought it was going to be the same, and it's far from it.
Just do what I tell you because I'm bigger, stronger, tougher, and meaner. Now what? Okay. What is he going to do to force Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? I don't know if you heard, but the deadline has been moved now 10 days from now. I think it.
What y'all think we going to do? What y'all think he going to do? He threatened them with the 48. That didn't work. He threatened them with the 5 days. That didn't work. Now we got a 10-day.
It's April 5th. I forget what day it was when he's going to rain fury down upon them if they don't, quote, open the Strait of Hormuz. Now, an Iranian official even said this a few days ago. I said, look, we're not really the ones closing the Strait of Hormuz at this point. There's a war on in the Middle East, and commercial traffic doesn't want to go traipsing through a war. That's a little bit disingenuous because they are, in fact, targeting the Strait of Hormuz, but it's also true.
Come on, yeah, I got 315 in the building. Could I get 27 more likes? Come on, 27 people. Hit that like, hit that like.
As long as the war goes on, even if Iran came out tomorrow and said, we're no longer going to target ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I don't think you'd see a huge increase in traffic. So that
right there, that's true. How could you trust it? How?
Is the trap that Donald Trump finds himself in. And now, either he's got the option that we just walked through, or he can try to escalate in some way that he thinks will break Iran and force them to make concessions on.
Diamond Gang, I'm going to be honest. He's going to take this one right here. This one right here, which means troops on the ground.
On those 4 points. No nukes, no ballistic missiles, no terrorist groups, open the Strait of Hormuz. I don't see what that option is that's going to work.
You just yesterday kind of reiterated, and of course, during this conversation, reiterated your opposition to this conflict. I wonder how, it's one thing for a citizen to say, I support the troops, but I don't support the war that they're fighting. And you can hear individuals saying that, or even people in the private sector. How do you balance that as an elected representative to support our troops and the people that are out there in harm's way? Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard. And this is where my experience helps. All right. Because I was, when
this guy is so dope.
9/11 happened. I was 36 years old. I'd been in Congress for 4 or 5 years, didn't know exactly how it worked. I heard a lot of these arguments. And then I went through, almost 20 years of conflict that flowed from that. And I heard a lot of those arguments about, well, gosh, if you're speaking out against the war, you're against our troops. And the people who want.
And that's not true. That is so not true. I think in this circumstance, because this was a war of choice, I don't think that this was necessary. They were on the sixth round of negotiations. They had agreed to dilute the uranium. This is definitely unnecessary.
The war, the people who want to keep it going, they leverage those arguments. They push it as if, if you don't support them, then you don't support the people who are putting their lives on the line. That's complete bullshit. That is not the way our country works, not the way the Constitution works. I absolutely support our troops, but my thinking is the responsibility is to stop them from being sent into a war they shouldn't be sent into.
Bingo. They shouldn't be there. Let's go. I need 20 more likes, Diamond Gang.
I'm not trying to undermine the war in any way. All right. In fact, if you ask me, I really.
And I said that last night. I understand that sometimes it does have to come to this for us to have certain freedoms. But this one right here, I can't. Nothing nobody say will make me agree with this. Nobody.
We want to be wrong about this. I want to wake up in a week and the Iranian regime is gone and they've acquiesced on all of those. I still want that outcome. All right. But I just don't think it's likely. And there is no different. You're not supporting the troops by saying the war should end. You're not. Okay. I'm not trying to undermine them in any way. I'm just saying the war should end and shouldn't have been started in the first place. So I think we have to be careful. There's so many arguments for staying in a war that are so easy. It's like, gosh, we started it. If we get out now, we've dishonored the.
At the end of the day, it's all about ego. Yes, y'all, get me up there. Get them likes up there. I got 260 in the room. Come on, y'all. I need about 15 more likes. Let's go.
The people who lost their lives. I mean, John Kerry, what was it, 60 years ago, 50 years ago now, came up with the famous line, how do you ask a man to be the last man to die for a mistake? That was his line in Vietnam when he was, just a veteran who'd come back from the war, testify.
But I'm going to tell you right now, Trump his back is against the wall. Like I said, most Americans don't want this war. His approval rate went down. And not only that, the Republican Party is falling apart behind the scenes. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys that in this live stream.
Before Congress. And I think that's the question that we ought to keep front in mind, not give into the jingoistic stuff that, you have to support whatever military action your country launches or somehow you're not patriotic.
Iran got a hold of Kash Patel's email address. They got pictures and everything. I'm going to show you guys that.
That's just not the way it should work.
The House Armed Service Committee chair yesterday, Mike Rogers, said we want to know more about what's going on, what the options are, and why they're being considered, and we're just not getting enough answers on those questions. You, sir, were in Congress during the buildup in...
And that's what's making a lot of us uncomfortable. We're not getting any answers to nothing.
Iraq and Afghanistan. So I feel like there's maybe some comparisons to be made there. How does that landscape look? The briefings, the information you're receiving with past conflicts?
Yeah, no, this administration has been less transparent and more opaque than any administration previously. Look, and that's...
Did y'all hear that? This administration has been less transparent. And can none of us argue that? They're not telling us anything.
Part of it, and this drags us into the broader issue of Trump's, authoritarian attack on our representative democracy. Trump and Hegseth do not believe that the law applies to them. They do not believe that there is such a thing as a check on their power. That basically.
Did y'all hear that? And that's a fact. They think they could do what they want. And Hegseth was actually kicked out of the military. He is not qualified at all.
Any check on their power is just blocking them from doing what they need to do, which is kind of a working definition of fascism as far as I'm concerned. But they don't believe that they should have to be responsible to Congress. Trump said it. The only check on his power is his own morality. And Hegseth is similar. Now, I will say, the House Army
Diamond Gang, making sure y'all get over to We Beat You. Bro, put your link in the chat. He actually goes over Epstein files, what's going on with the war updates. Please subscribe. We got a big project coming up. We will be streaming live from both platforms with special guests.
Armed Services Committee, we have bipartisan staff. Mike Rogers and I work very closely together. We have an incredibly talented staff that has worked with Pentagons and in many cases worked in Pentagons over the course of decades. And we are trying to make sure that this relationship doesn't die and to pump life back into it. Today, as a matter of fact, I've got one of their head of Leg Affairs is coming over to talk to me in a skiff to try to give me some of those answers that we're frustrated that we didn't get during the briefs a couple of days ago. So there are some within the building who don't like to see the severance that's happening between the Pentagon and Congress and oversight, but the leadership, Hegseth and Trump.
I'm telling y'all, it's all falling apart. They are all going at each other's necks.
They're arrogant. They don't think they have to tell us anything. And yet
They even kicked the press out. They kicked the press out, and I got a piece about that in here.
yes, back in the day, before the surge in Iraq, before Obama made his decision to do sort of his surge in Afghanistan in 2009, we had an endless series of meetings where they laid out in detail what their plans were, and why they.
Last night I showed you guys, Trump told Congress the other day a totally different objective than what he's putting out here.
They thought they would work. There was a belief in that level of transparency in all previous administrations that Trump and Hegseth don't sign up for. Now, there's bipartisan pushback. We're trying to get better. As I mentioned, first time that Mike Rogers and I have sat down with Secretary Hegseth was 2 days ago, actually, at breakfast. First time. I mean, a year plus into him being say, I've had terrific relationships with every Secretary of Defense before him, Republican, Democrat, didn't matter. So we're trying to break through that, but by and large, they don't believe in accountability from Congress.
Y'all hear that? He clearly said they don't believe in accountability by Congress. I need 10 more likes, y'all. Please get me there. Get me there. 100 likes. That's all I'm asking tonight. If you would like to support the channel with not a cash app, I ain't put my cash app up, with a super chat, super sticker, thank you.
Every day has been a flurry of information in every direction. I feel like we can just grab a date and there's a ceasefire on the way, talks are going well, and we're sending more troops and strikes are increasing. What would you tell the average American in terms of trying to keep up with this conflict? What should they be paying attention to? What type of stuff should they?
Listen, y'all, he's getting ready to tell y'all what we need to be paying attention to.
Be filtering out.
Well, the first thing is Trump is unique. We've never had a president who was this disconnected from the truth. And I mean it that way. He's a liar, but that's a separate point. He's disconnected from the truth.
And that's sad because we're in a whole war with the man that is disconnected from the truth.
He says things. All right. And does he believe them? Are they true? Who knows? The dude just likes to talk.
Someone in the chat said the other day, you like as if I'm just like I'm rooting for Iran. I have no other choice but to believe what they say because he keeps telling lies. How could I believe him?
And so he throws out 15 different ideas in the course of an afternoon. Many of them are contradictory. I always like the quote, and this was attributed to Jared Kushner, actually, from, I think, 10, 15 years ago now. Someone asked him about his father-in-law, and he quoted this line from Alice in Wonderland: when you don't know where you're going, you're always on the right path. And I thought that was pretty damn apt. I've never read Alice in Wonderland, so I didn't catch the reference, but I get the point. I think it's part of it. He just, all right. Personally, I'm not a fan of the chaos theory of anything, but certainly not of running our government, and certainly not of conducting a war. So, yeah, what I can tell you is it's really hard to read the tea leaves on Trump for that reason. The only thing I would say that has proven to be the case during this presidency, the last 14 months now, when he moves assets, he uses them.
That is the military. When he when he moves assets, he uses them. So I believe eventually it will be boots on the ground.
Saw it in Venezuela. We set all those folks down there and we started blowing up boats. We sent down a particular force that was designed.
Listen up, y'all. He trying to tell us something. I need 5 more likes, y'all.
For extraction. They went in and they grabbed Maduro. We did the buildup in Iran. We bombed. So in general, if he moves forces to a region, he winds up using them.
So expect it. He is going to use those troops over there. Expect it is what he's telling us.
But beyond that, there's not really a lot to look for because Hegseth's not going to say anything. No one else is going to say anything.
Let me read this comment. David said, never wrestle with pigs. You'll both get dirty, but that's what they like. Okay.
So I don't think we're really going to know. But the thing to be alarmed about is what I said. When he moves forces to a region, he thus far has used them.
So that's it in a nutshell. Pay attention. He's going to use those troops.
The House Armed Service Committee chair yesterday, Mike Rogers, said we want to know more about what's going on, what the options are, and why they're being considered. And we're just not getting enough answers on those questions.
This a little bit. This is the same.
It's kind of a working down.
Hold on, gang. Let's move it up a little bit. Bingo. Here, I'll let this last piece play out.
First time, a year plus into him being say, I've had terrific relationships with every sector
on this war in yesterday's.
Take it back a little bit. All right.
Partisan pushback. We're trying to get better. As I mentioned, first time that Mike Rogers and I have sat down with Secretary Hegseth was 3 days ago now, 2 days ago, actually. At breakfast. First time in a year plus into him being say, I've had terrific relationships with every Secretary of Defense before him, Republican, Democrat, didn't matter. So we're trying to break through that. But by and large, they don't believe in accountability from Congress.
Jake, you have reporting about some consternation inside the White House.
Rift inside White House over Trump's messaging on Iran. Didn't I tell you guys that they had an issue within? So they're mad. There's a rift inside the White House over Trump messaging on Iran. Let's get it.
Saw more of Trump's optimistic, almost unbothered posture on this war in yesterday's meeting. But you're reporting about the serious friction behind the scenes over his messaging in particular. What have you learned?
Yeah, on a serious friction is right. I spoke with 3 different White House officials. 2 are still currently.
Gang, listen up. I tried to tell y'all they're putting pressure. Some of them, like Hegseth, they don't want the war to end. Some of them, the Republicans, are pushing for him to end this. It's a lot going on inside.
At the White House, who just detailed the tension inside the White House right now, the disagreements that's going on internally about the approach on the war with Iran, especially the messaging coming from President Trump and coming from the White House. I had one White House official who told me that most of Trump's language right now on the war is hyperbolic. Another told me that the president is.
Did y'all hear this? This is coming. Yo, thanks. We beat you, bro. Thank you. Did y'all hear this? His own people is on his butt about what he is saying, Diamond Gang. Let's go. Hit the like. Okay, y'all got me to 100 likes. Thank you.
Bored with Iran and ready to move on. He's begun to kind of shift his focus and energy elsewhere.
So now he's bored with Iran and he wants to move on to something else. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? On this war of choice. Let's go. You guys will thank me later.
Another official told me that oftentimes the president is used to being able to lie in a certain way to the American people and eventually convince them that some of what he is saying is truth and that doesn't.
Yo, did y'all hear that? I got to take it back. I'm sorry, y'all. This is crazy. Let's get it. Pay attention.
We're reporting about the serious friction behind the scenes over his messaging in particular. What have you learned?
Yeah, on a serious friction is right. I spoke with 3 different White House officials. 2 are still currently at the White House, who just detailed the tension inside the White House right now, the disagreements that's going on internally about the approach on the war with Iran, especially the messaging coming from President Trump and coming from the White House. I had one White House official who told me that most of Trump's language right now on the war is hyperbolic. Another told me that the president is bored with Iran and ready to move on. He's begun to.
So y'all cool with this? Are you guys really cool with what's going on? This is insane. He's bored. You got us in a war. Like, this is not a game, a video game. These are real lives, real people.
Kind of shift his focus and energy elsewhere. Another official told me that oftentimes the president is used to being able to lie in a certain way to the American people and eventually convince them that some of what he is saying is truth, and that doesn't.
So for the ones that still supporting Trump, I didn't say it, but I'm giving you proof that his own people inside the White House they're calling him liars. Let's go. They're calling him a liar.
Doesn't quite necessarily apply when it comes to war like we're seeing right now. There's also this separate focus on frustration around the messaging of social media from the White House right now. We've seen a lot of these memes that the White House has been posting, kind of just playing lightly with the fact that we're at war, people are dying, including U.S. soldiers. And I had one White House official tell
he's going to go down in history for these shenanigans.
Me that the war videos that are coming out of the White House right now are cringe, disrespectful, and gross. He said he was embarrassed for what he was seeing right now. And ultimately, I'll just say the through line here is that none of these officials, each of them told me they are not saying these things publicly within the White House walls because they are fearful of some type of retribution.
Y'all hear this? But meanwhile, some of the Republicans, they're so scared for the Democrats to take over because they know once they do, boom, they're going to be hit with investigations. Let's go.
Against them if they speak their mind. I've got an exclusive news story with an inside look at the widening White House internal divide over the war in Iran. I spoke with 3 different White House officials for this story, current and former. Now, one told me some of Trump's language about the war is hyperbolic and that he has gotten bored with.
They're scared of Trump. They are so scared to speak up. This is pathetic.
Iran and is ready to move on. There have also been internal White House frustrations with the way official White House social media accounts have been posting about the war. Their content has leaned on internet memes to flippantly promote the conflict, using clips from movies like Iron Man and Top Gun, characters from cartoons like SpongeBob, and rap music overlaid of footage.
Yeah, they used Fireman, Lil Wayne's Fireman, for a video of them bombing. Like, this is a disgrace.
Footage of unclassified videos of bombs striking Iranian targets. Now, one White House official told me the war videos are cringe and disrespectful and gross. The White House officials I talked to under anonymity told me that they don't say these same opinions within White House walls for concern of negative repercussions.
Iran declares the Strait of...
All right, Diamond Gang, I had to show you guys that. I told y'all in the beginning of this live stream, they are falling apart behind the scenes. Y'all gonna believe me. Y'all gonna believe me. All right, let's get into the Straits of Hormuz.
Hormuz closed, and now even Chinese ships aren't getting through. These 2 little arrows are 2 ultra-large container ships owned by China's biggest shipping company known as COSCO. This is the CSCL Indian Ocean and the CSCL Arctic Ocean. And at about sunrise Friday morning, you can see they made this sharp U-turn after apparently trying to make it out past this island.
So now they went from letting few ships and said, okay, you could get through as long as you are not helping the U.S. and you're not an ally of the U.S., to charging $2 million to get through, to now they're just turning people away. So what y'all think is going to happen? Escalation.
as Larak Island. The day before, a third ship, the Lotus Rising, which is Hong Kong owned, also was forced to make a quick turnaround before even getting to Larak. And remember that name, Larak Island, because it is now being described as Tehran's toll booth. This is by the analysts over at Lloyd's List, which is a maritime intelligence company. Now, Larak is just a few miles off of Iran's coast at its closest point, and Tehran has been forcing ships to sail that way.
So they asked for a toll booth and we said no. So I guess they just made one. This is crazy.
And to pay a fee to pass safely, reportedly $2 million for at least one vessel. And for the second half of March, Lloyd's List tracked 33 transits via Larak.
This is insane. That was part of their negotiations, was a toll booth. So here we have it. They made their own little toll booth and they're charging, like I said, $2 million, which is against the law.
And no transits at all via the normal route further south. Put another way, if the Strait of Hormuz is a choke point for oil coming out of the Persian Gulf, then the route past Larak is the chokehold of the chokehold. But wait, there is more. An Iranian military official says that they could target other straits that also handle oil. The next big strait is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait at the south end of the Red Sea. This handles about 10% of the world's oil supply and has Djibouti to the south and Yemen to the north. And remember, Yemen is home to the Houthi militant group, which is a proxy of Iran. They have been very...
Y'all hear that? A proxy of Iran. So y'all think this is going to blow over? They're going to agree? This is getting ready to be, it's going to escalate.
Quiet since the war started so far, but said early on that their finger is on the trigger. And if both choke points are hit, that would be a double squeeze on global energy supply. And that's why analysts at
What we going to do, y'all? How the hell we getting out of this? This is crazy.
Macquarie are now warning that oil could hit $200 a barrel this summer. Again, that has never happened.
This morning,
and I told y'all, somebody in my chat said, oh, it only went up a little bit. I said, okay, say that in a few days when it starts to affect you. And it will.
Dramatic new video appears to show the moment an Iranian missile came dangerously close to striking an American F-18 fighter jet. U.S. Central Command posting on X.
You see, these is the videos that they're not showing Trump. Remember, gang, I told y'all the day before yesterday, all they are showing Trump is 2-minute clips of us hitting Iran. That's it in these briefings. 2-minute videos. They're not showing him stuff like this. We was almost hit by Iran.
No U.S. fighter aircraft have been shot down by Iran. But one source telling ABC News an F-18 operating in the region did narrowly dodge an Iranian missile over southern Iran in recent days. It comes as Operation Epic Fury nears its 5th week, with reports the Pentagon is weighing sending an additional 10.
These is the videos that they need to be showing Trump, not them little stupid 2-minute clips that they're showing him.
1,000 ground troops to the Middle East. The president signaling he's in no rush to strike a deal.
Diamond Gang, I got 305 in the building. Hit the like for your girl. Get me to 150. Get me to 150.
But Trump extending the deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by 10 days. And if Iran doesn't comply, the president says he'll bomb their crucial power plants.
All these stories that get printed.
He bombed it. The entire world is going to suffer.
Like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me.
Despite Iran saying that direct negotiations are not taking place, Special Envoy Steve.
I guess those are the lies that he want to get away with, that the people, his own people were scared to tell him to stop lying on. Like, ugh.
Witkoff saying a 15-point framework for a potential peace deal has now been delivered, with Pakistan acting as mediator. Iran, though, has not.
Witkoff don't even need to say nothing. They don't want to negotiate with him at all. They want Vance.
Not signaled any willingness publicly to accept the deal as is. At a lengthy cabinet meeting lasting roughly 2 hours Thursday, the president discussing a range of issues, including surging oil prices.
It's not over, so maybe it'll go up a little bit more. It's all going to come back down to where it was and probably lower.
Do you hear that lie? We just heard the truth. It's not. It's going to go up to $200 a barrel.
Now, the president has said that Iran has let 10 oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, a sign, he says, that negotiations are proceeding well. But just this morning, the Revolutionary Guard reiterating that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. They said they blocked 3 more tankers just this morning from transiting.
There are 2 potential military operations here, both
Listen to this. This is it right here.
of them deeply hazardous, and neither of which the American public has been prepared for by the White House. One is what could be a military opportunity to try and take control of Karg Island,
Yes.
which would involve paratroops and others taking up positions on that island, which is the major port when
Diamond Gang, Trump is considering sending 10,000 more over there, which will make it a total of 15, almost 16,000 of our troops over there for a war that he is bored with right now. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Crazy.
90% of Iran's oil is loaded onto tankers that then sail through the Strait of Hormuz. The other option that they may go after is using ground forces to try and recover Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium, the very same stockpile of enriched uranium that President Trump claims he completely obliterated and destroyed last summer. That is now said to be dispersed around the country, even though at the time of Operation Midnight Hammer, the president insisted the Iranians had not been able in any fashion to squirrel their enriched uranium away and it had all been taken care of. No chance of either of those operations happening without at least casualties and possibly American fatalities.
Right now,
That part right there. That part right there. Now we're getting ready to go into how much gas is going to go up. Stay tuned. We're going to get into Iran hacking and getting into Patel's emails. I'm going to show you guys the pictures of Patel that he has. It's not that serious to me. I mean, the pictures. What they did is serious, but those pictures, thank goodness, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Now in LA, we are seeing $8 a gallon gas. And here's why we are not likely to see prices on a wide range of consumer goods go back down to their historic lows, why we should probably anticipate some sort of recession or stagflation.
Did y'all hear that? We're heading into a recession. Y'all don't believe me. I said this days ago.
Continued high prices, and why even if the war stops right now, consumers are going to feel the pain, I am told, for 6 months or a year. So I had a very interesting and dispiriting conversation with one of the world's greatest experts in supply chains, Nick Vyas from USC. So on the one hand, you have obviously the energy problem. At least 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas, LNG, goes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, that natural gas too. We keep talking about just regular, natural gas too.
20% of the oil, we all know that at this point, but it's also the tankers, the ships, the vessels, thousands that are bottled up in the Persian Gulf, unable to get out, that causes a massive global supply chain issue. That means those ships can't meet their deadlines, taking on new cargo that backs things up. And that is going to take, he says, even if the war stops today, that will take 6 months, maybe
6 months. Did y'all hear that? 6 months.
a year to unwind. The issue is, he says, demand remains high, supply goes down. That means prices rise. He says it's inevitable. Right now, he's forecasting about 40 basis points lower of global.
So we're not getting a break anytime soon. Please know that.
GDP, that is basically a recession. And the problem is that he says traditionally, prices don't go back down to their historic lows. So we are likely to see inflation, lower growth. That could mean stagflation. And that is not good for the world economy. He says that we are at an inflection point right now.
Trump is going to go down in history for this. You hear me?
This is every bit as dangerous to the world economy, he says, as COVID, possibly more if this lasts longer. He says we have not seen this kind of disruption in a war in many, many decades, possibly
decades, Diamond Gang. Trump, he really messed up.
Going all the way back to World War II. That's how serious, he says, this economic situation is right now.
working class, those making 50K or less, those making.
Now we getting ready to get into Trump's popularity is going down. It is tanking. Let's go.
Under 50K. We're a big swing vote. We're a big swing vote in the 2024 election. Trump was able to win them. That was a very important part of his coalition. But look at this now. Look at the net approval rating that he has.
Negative 24 points, Diamond Gang. He's down bad.
With those making under 50K. Down it goes. Look at that. That's a 26-point switcheroo in the latest average of poll.
That's another reason why he was pressed to try to end this war. He is down negative 24 points.
Look at that, minus 24 points. The working class voters are abandoning Donald Trump. Those who helped put him over the top in 2024 are
buyer's remorse. I told y'all in the beginning of this live, the people that was supporting Trump still trying to just hold on. They are looking at him some type of way. Buyer's remorse.
Saying, you know what? Not for me right now.
Look, everybody's afraid that the next.
Pay attention. This is another thing. Trump official reveals they are worried that they will be investigated if the Democrats win in 2028. And guess what? If they get in, more than likely they will. They've been breaking the law big time. Let's go.
Next administration, if we don't win, we're going to all be investigated and indicted.
Y'all hear that? We're going to all be investigated, indicted. Did y'all hear that? This is crazy. 2028, if the Dems come in, more than likely they will, and rightfully so.
Think about that. This is not a third world country. This is America, and the existing administration.
This is America, but y'all think y'all above the law. That's the problem.
Is afraid that they're going to get indicted. And why are they afraid? Because that's exactly what happened during the last administration. All of President Trump's cabinet.
Don't break the law and you don't have to worry about an indictment. It's just that simple.
Everybody that worked in the White House, his Secret Service detail had to go to the grand jury.
This story should be setting off.
Listen, Diamond Gang, they kicked the press out. Listen to this. Listen, and y'all know that he also held 2 black women back. We're going to get into this thing. Let's go. Hit the like. Hit the like. I need y'all to hit the like.
Alarm bells everywhere. And the scariest part is that it's not. The Pentagon has announced that it is removing media offices from inside the building. For decades, there has been something.
They kicked them out. They got their boxes. They kicked them out, Diamond Gang. Let's go. Hit the like. 302 in the building. Hit the like.
Thing called Correspondence Corridor in the Pentagon. This is where the journalists worked. This is how they built sources, asked questions, got information about what the country is doing, and could sometimes catch things and report on them before they became official narratives. That is gone. Reporters are being pushed out to.
Look at that with their boxes. They kicked them out of the Pentagon. They do not want the words. What's going on? They don't want it to get out here at all. They want to be able to cover up, hide, and do what they want to do.
Some undefined annex at some point in the future outside of the building. And in the meantime, everybody needs to be escorted. Access is controlled. Journalists are no longer embedded where the decisions are actually made. As if that weren't serious enough, here is where it gets really serious. A federal judge already ruled that the Pentagon's previous restrictions on journalists were illegal. The judge very clearly said,
here we go. They breaking the law, doing what they want to do once again, but they worried about indictments. Let's go.
The policy that the Pentagon is employing is designed to remove, quote, disfavored journalists. In other words, people who reported on stuff based on.
They totally want control of the media. I showed you guys yesterday. Pete Hegseth was threatening the media yesterday. Let's go.
On what was newsworthy, not based on what Pete Hegseth wants. And they have replaced those journalists with people willing to do the bidding of Trump and Hegseth.
That part. So it's whatever they want to control. They want to control the media.
The government is trying to choose its own coverage. A judge said that's against the law. And instead of backing off, they doubled down and they said, fine, you know what? We'll just get rid of the press entirely. If we have to allow in journalists who are actually going to do journalism, no. We'll just move them to some other part of the building. To some other part of the city in a different building at some point. Now, this has very serious practical implications. I'm going to give you an example. Just a few days ago, Caroline Levitt was asked, what are the casualty numbers in the Iran war? And remember what Caroline Levitt said? It's the following.
Reuters has reported that about 150 U.S. Service members have been injured so far. Can you confirm that number and elaborate on that?
I can't confirm the exact number. I know it's within that ballpark, but I would defer you to the Pentagon for a specific number of wounded or injured thus far.
Caroline said, I don't have the information as to how many casualties we have because of Trump's optional and likely illegal war. You've got to go and check with the Pentagon. Well, the Pentagon is getting rid of everybody.
This is crazy. You see that? Hit the like, Diamond Gang. This is crazy.
Kicking out the press so that you're not going to get the answer from the Pentagon either. And this is exactly how it is designed. They promise transparency, and this is one of the biggest lacks of transparency I have ever seen in any administration. Now,
And guess what? I'm so happy I stumbled on this. I don't know what to do because this is not, I didn't hear this in the news anywhere, Diamond Gang. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like.
New York Times, which was the plaintiff in the lawsuit that eventually led to the judge saying this is not allowed. The New York Times said it's going back to court now that the Pentagon said we're getting rid of all the press offices instead of giving you your press credentials back. And the part that should really concern you is that most people will never hear about this change. Most people will not notice this change. There are very few dramatic headlines. This should be one of the biggest news stories there is.
Did y'all hear that? Nobody's covering this. They literally kicked the press out of the Pentagon. Pete Hegseth wants to control the media.
The Iran war is big, there's no doubt. The affordability crisis in the United States is big, there's no doubt. But this is going right at the core of one of the key things that makes the United States the United States. There is one profession that is protected by the First Amendment, okay? It is journalism. It's the press. And the Pentagon got a court ruling they didn't like.
We have breaking news right now.
All right, now we can get into Patel and his photos. Let's get it, Diamond Gang. Hit the like. I need y'all to hit that like. Let's go.
Department official has confirmed to Reuters that it appears as though Iranian hackers may have breached FBI Director Kash Patel's personal email. A group that goes by Handala is claiming, and this is a group that is linked to Iran, is claiming to have gotten access to Kash Patel's personal.
I told y'all last night, cyber attacks. I told you guys this was going to happen.
Email, and has published his resume along with other photographs that have not been independently verified just yet. Here are some of the photographs that the group, the Handala hack, is claimed to have published. You can see Kash Patel, what appears to be Kash Patel with a cigar. They also claim that hacking into his personal email was a joke, was simply easy to do, essentially. Now, I'm going through the rest of the release. Obviously, it's very concerning that hackers potentially were able to get into the FBI director's personal email address. But I also will say that there's been a lot of concern about personal email addresses for Hillary Clinton, for example, from Republicans. Not that same concern for someone like Kash Patel. So we'll see if that changes. Spread the word. Follow for more.
FBI Director Kash Patel's personal email has been hacked, and this is confirmed by the Department of Justice. This comes only a few days after Iranian-linked hacker group Handala put out a message saying, and I quote, "You will soon learn that the FBI's security is nothing."
I'm going to tell y'all right now, Patel's not it, just it. Y'all watch and see. There will be more in the next few days. I told you guys yesterday, they are on a cyber attack right now, too.
But a joke. Just think about the skeletons in that closet. January 6th, getting paid by the Russians, on and on. You obviously want your government to be secure, but this is a different time, a different era. This may end up being good, actually, for American democracy in the long run. Time will tell.
Look at his little cheesy butt. Look at him. Look, what is he doing? These pictures is not that embarrassing. What? Like, come on. That's not a bad picture.
We have some major news right now. The New York Times report.
Now, this right here, I'm angry. I'm very angry.
Reporting that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, removed 2 black and 2 female officers from a military promotion list, in part because Donald Trump would not want to stand next to a black female officer during.
What type of shit is this? Did y'all hear this? It is 2026, goddammit. But he said he liked black people. Remember, he said that. I'm going to take this back. I don't want to stand next to a black female during military ceremonies. He out of his goddamn mind for this one. I'm going to pull this back. I'm angry. And I got a right to be. I'm ex-military and I'm a black female. This is our.
We have some major news right now. The New York Times is reporting that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, removed 2 black and 2 female officers from a military promotion list, in part because Donald Trump would not want to stand next to a black female officer during military ceremonies. I'm serious. New York Times is reporting that last summer, Hegseth's then Chief of Staff, Ricky Buria, chastised the Secretary of Army for selecting a black female combat engineer to serve as the head of the Military District of Washington. Quote, Mr. Buria told Mr. Driscoll that President Trump would not want to stand next to a black female officer at military events. He was shocked. The president is not a racist or a sexist.
That's a damn lie. Y'all proud of y'all president? That's a goddamn lie.
Then raised the issue with the senior White House official who agreed with the assessment of President Trump. And the New York Times has confirmed that Hegseth himself has removed 2 black and 2 female military officers from this promotion list. I'll have more updates for you.
This is disgraceful. This is disgusting fucking behavior.
Very soon, very serious. Spread the word. Subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support. Follow for more.
I'm done with that. I'm going to take comments from the chat and calm down. This is why I saved that for last. There's no room for that in 2026. Fucking none. Prove what? Prove what? Don't, you know what, Patricia? You're done. Don't curse in my chat. You're banned. Bye. I'm not playing when it comes to that. Do you know how many men in the government are in lavender marriages? I'm not quite sure what that means. If you want to, I don't know what a lavender marriage is. Who said this? Y'all can't, come on, man. Y'all just saying, y'all, I got to delete that. I can't even put that comment up. Okay. You said, I just don't believe that. What don't you believe? Lies. What don't you believe? Y'all heard it. Clear as day. I'm just bringing it to you. You said, who was he sending these photos to? I have no idea. Patel's a joke. You said, never poke the sleeping bear that has been preparing for 40 years. You ain't never lied. They definitely poked the bear in Iran. You said they kicked the Democrats' mouthpieces. I don't know what that means. You might gotta, I don't know if you're still in the chat. You gotta go into more details. The government is to serve the people number one. Why is there Americans waiting for hours to fly? Who's being served? The 1%. I agree. I don't think that's right at all. What's going on? Yes, double tap that screen. I'm going to go through a few more comments. We almost 2 hours in, Diamond Gang. You said those people in the Senate are corrupt, and a lot of them in the Congress too. If they ever follow the money, how you going to Congress broken? You come out broke, and you come out a millionaire 100 times over. Ronald, I agree. No one believes the lies. Come on, I can't even put this up. You said Father Time kicking A. Correct. Democrats. Okay, so you think that the Democrats are corrupt, but the Republicans is the one scared to death because they know what they doing ain't right. Some of them, not all of them. Remind me, Joe Biden gave presidential pardons for crimes, but didn't say what the crimes were. And you say the Trump regime is corrupt. Okay, they're all corrupt. I'm not just saying Trump, they are, all of them. Didn't you? You don't know about the Epstein files? A little bit. Everybody was in there. The Iran war is the breaking point. I can't. You call somebody. I can't even put that comment up. Listen, Diamond Gang. All opinions are respected. I just ask you not to be disrespectful. If you curse or you say something disrespectful, I'm just going to delete your comment. It's just that simple. No independent voters support Trump. Trump always comes out on top. Okay. You think that. What you do in the dark come in the light, and karma's a bitch. That's all I'm going to say. It'll catch up to him. Gas got to $6 under Biden without having a war with Iran. Let's see. Let me get a couple more. Yeah, hit that like, double tap. I'm going to drop the link. If anybody bold enough to come up here, come on up. You just can't be disrespectful. Hold on. Let me put the link in the chat. If you got something to add, or even if you have an imposing opinion, just be respectful. Boom. The link has been dropped. I'm in Arizona. Gas is $5 a gallon. That's a lot. Frost, if you say this one more time. Only American Jews praise and support Trump because Trump is willing to sacrifice his people. Yeah, he's definitely willing to sacrifice for the sake of Israel Jews. He definitely willing to sacrifice. The U.S. doesn't use oil that comes from the Straits. We're paying the price for market speculation. I know they said we don't get our oil from over there. He said, lady, I gotta laugh at some of these comments. Lady, you're crazy. Hopefully about Iran's capabilities. Plus, you're assuming much about what Trump actually sees and does not. Aided you part. I don't know what that means. I ain't crazy. I'm far from crazy. Oh, stuff. We got my bro. Let's add him to the stage. We beat you. What's going on?
Hey sis, how you doing?
Good. You ain't been up here in a while. Sound off, bro. Sound off.
Well, sound off 1, 2, 3. What's up, chat? Let me say this before we start, before I get into asking you a couple questions, because I do want to know, because you've been informing everybody for the last couple of weeks. I think that right now, other than the Midas Touch, and a lot of you people in the chat, y'all watch Midas Touch, but they mostly do uploads. But when it comes to getting front line with the people and demonstrating and coming front line, the great spills the tea. We beat you. We are up front with everybody. We give you a chance. Yep. So please hit the super chat for my sister right here. You know, I'm saying it. Please hit her with a super chat. And I know a lot of you people are returning because she is dropping gems right now. So just please donate to the channel. Due to the fact that she up close and personal with everybody. And right now, she's knocking it out the box. And I want to thank you, sis, bro, because you have hit all angles when it comes to the Epstein files. Y'all hit that super chat. Bullshit, all bullshit aside, hit the super chat game. And she lets this commentary play out, and she let everybody have their opinion in the chat. And we thank the people for coming and being respectful to the chat. So I have 2 questions.
Yes.
If I may ask. Okay, so when you were playing, you showed the boats and they were going up and they were turning around.
Mhm.
Now, I want to ask you a question. Is that because we're losing that they're turning around? Because they're turning around, right? They're turning around. So all the lies that we have seen Trump saying that we're winning and we're deploying so many different troops, right, gang? We're deploying so many ground troops, and they're doing the tactic what Hitler did with the lies on the television. So with these ships turning around, sis, we're losing then, right? I'm mistaken, we're losing.
Right now, I'm going to say this. Iran has the upper hand. Like I said, they're playing chess, not checkers. Trump, the administration, they never thought that they would do this. And they did. And we didn't have a plan B.
Okay.
They never even thought that they would do this. So they didn't think of what to do if they were to do this. So right now, I believe that we are talking to Pakistan and these deadlines. Do I believe that Pakistan may have asked for an extension? Yes. Do I think it came directly from Iran? No, I don't.
Okay.
These are the type of people that'll die for their country. That they don't care. Go ahead. What you say? Go ahead.
Great answer. Damn, you're good. Damn, you're fucking good. Okay, let me ask you another question. So
hold on. Let me delete this comment real quick.
Where's Peanut at? Where's Peanut? Can Peanut please?
Hold on. Go ahead. Ask me.
Another question. Okay, this strait that they're trying, the Hamas Strait, but they're trying to get through the Hamas Strait, right? So every major company, China, all these people are eating through this strait, right? They're eating through this strait, right? But America, this is what I'm trying to get an overstanding on. And we're doing all this damage to where everybody's eating from this strait, right? And nobody, as far as China, they do these fake threats. Russia do these fake threats. Donald Trump turns his back on the Ukraine right in the president's face and gives homage to President Putin. Then we turn around, right? I want to know, okay, we have, when you go on the oil fields on Interstate 10, the oil fields all through there, Midland, Pico, you see nothing but oil fields, right? And I see this every day because I'm a truck driver. I see oil fields forever, and I see oil pumps just constantly pumping, right? Constantly pumping. So that means that our country has oil, right?
Oh, no doubt we do, especially the state where I'm from, the state of Pennsylvania. No doubt. Yes, we do.
So you have oil fields in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we can get oil here. Yeah.
Okay, so
but let me go
Okay,
back
go
to
ahead.
your original thought, because your original thought, you said you brought up Putin and you brought up Russia. You
Absolutely.
do know that we lift sanctions off of Russia, and Russia's helping Iran.
Right. But is that real?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the
Okay,
reason
we're
why I
gonna
say
add
that,
Peanut to
I'm
the
just a quick
stage.
question. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say that, is it real? Because if we messing up other countries' money, are they all in it together? Because like when we go back to the Epstein files, right? We seen Epstein with the Russian hat on, and we know that Trump's wife came from Russia. When we look at all of this, it's like, to me, this is just my opinion, is that they all just picking on someone to cover up what they all have done when it came to the Epstein files and the trafficking women. And
I'ma
they're
say this.
allowing Trump
Go
to
ahead.
actually do this and pick on these people because no one's helping, even though they're providing, okay, they're providing, help to Iran. Okay, but to me, it all looks like a total cover up, because to me, they're all intertwined to cover up the Epstein file, and they're bullying these people, because if you're messing up Russia's money and you're messing up China's money, why haven't they did any attacking? Why haven't they put ships on the strait?
Why did who?
China and Russia.
China they could get their own oil from Iran.
Right. And we can produce our own oil, right? In our country.
But no, what I'm saying is, if Iran, they're not really messing with China all like that. China, and just like this comment is saying, Russia and China are helping Iran. They could get through the straits if need be. China really can get through the straits if need be. But they have their own sources too. They got backups. And I showed that yesterday in a video.
Okay. So my main question is this. Why it has to be the Epstein Fury cover up, and they're allowing it to happen.
I believe
But
that.
Our NATO, which this is pretty much the first time this has happened, that NATO is like, fuck it. We're cool. And we probably never have a good relationship again after this president leaves office. So my question is, if I see these oil fields in Texas constantly pumping oil, we got enough oil to just mind our effing business. Mind
We've
our
been
business.
saying that.
But when the Epstein files come up, we want to go over there and attack these people, right? So the information that's put out that they have against Donald Trump to completely cover it up. And I think that is totally sad.
Guess who got Donald Trump in a chokehold? Israel. Okay? Israel
Absolutely.
got Donald Trump in a chokehold. And I do believe it is behind the Epstein files. Yes, I do.
So can I
So
Peanut,
Israel
hey,
is the one
Peanut.
who got us up in this. And Israel don't want to stop. They want this to continue. But good
Update.
Peanut.
Another update.
Hey, bro.
Is now this, do we know this? Because now everybody's in the midst of this. Is not how you say it's not Yahweh? What's
BB? Just calling BB. Calling BB.
Yahweh? Yeah, it's
Netanyahu.
It's Netanyahu, chat.
Calling
Alive?
BB.
Or is he alive or unalive?
No,
We
that's
didn't just
not the
forgot about
one.
that. What's going on?
Wait, go back. BB is Israel. You're talking about the Ayatollah, the Iran's leaders. I don't know if he's still alive. The son, I don't know.
No, Iran.
No, Iran is BB. Israel.
No, I'm
When you
talking
say
about Netanyahu.
That's Iran. I mean, that's Israel.
Right. Is he alive or is he unalive?
No, he's alive. I'm sorry. Yeah, they've been debunked that last week. He's alive. That was just a rumor.
Okay.
I showed him 2 days ago. Yeah, he's alive. I know what you're talking about now. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I thought
gang.
you was talking about the Ayatollah's son. Okay.
Okay,
right.
gang. I've been meditating on my channel for a while. I've been going with the conspiracy and what's going on at Zorro Ranch for the last couple of days. So that's where I've been at. I'm on the ranch right now, chilling.
Tell him what you got going on.
Well, just tap in, gang. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this for a while. Y'all see the channel down there. We beat you. We work as a unit, me, Peanut, and Diamond Gang. We are a unit. We all, we've been pushing a hard line. So at the end of the day, she's rocking the show, doing what she do. But we remain on Zorro Ranch. There's missing scientists, so that's what I'm pretty much into with my content. And we're about to upload Sunday, and we're gonna turn back up. I've been down for a little bit, but I'm the part where I'm staying basically on Zorro Ranch. So you want to know about Zorro Ranch, scientists, and what's basically going on behind the Epstein files, I'm staying right there. That's where I'm at. And Yolanda, she covers pretty much everything. I'm the crazy one, the woke conspiracy theory one. If you into that, then I'm what you're looking for. But my sister, she's very strict on her content, along with Peanut. And they go by the guidelines. I kind of like, I don't care. I don't care what you think about me, but you know, it's a lot of people that follow me as well. But right
Yeah.
over here is where you're gonna get the best. And I just do advise everybody, and I do want to say this. We go on other channels and we see people donating to the channel. Please super chat. They don't care if it's $1.99.
Super
Just
chat,
super
super
chat because
sticker.
for sure,
I
my
like.
sister is giving y'all content, and every time she come on, she got 600 to 300 people in here because you can come over here and really politic. Ain't nobody doing that right now on YouTube. They're doing uploads. They're doing uploads.
Yeah.
She's
A
live
lot
and
of people are.
direct with you guys. Please respect the channel. That's all we saying, gang. Until this
What's
is
up,
over, we're
Peanut?
gonna fight.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What's
Thank
going
you,
on?
bro.
Hey, nut. Peanut butter face.
I only came up because bro was like, "Where Peanut at?" Peanut was holding on the chat.
So what you got that you
It
don't
was
have nothing to
active.
add to the conversation?
It's the same thing I always say for the new people that's coming in, because I mean, we never get the same type of people every time. So for me, as a veteran, Army who, I don't support the war at all. I don't. I feel like we should have minded our business. And so does the rest of the world, which is why we're not getting support. We're only getting
Right.
support from Ukraine because we are funding Ukraine against Russia. And eventually, Russia's going to get upset about that because Russia has been staying out of our personal matters, which is why Russia gave a lot of our confidential and classified information to Iran. And we're not
Yeah.
going to forget that a lot of this classified information has been flown all over on planes. So what are you
Yeah.
getting rid of, sir? And I want everybody to continue talking about that plane we gave away. Ain't nobody talking about that no more. What's going on with that plane? What was
I
in
didn't hear
that
about it.
plane? Was that plane stripped before we donated it and gave it away as a I love you gift?
That I don't know. I would have to look into that for sure.
You're not gonna find anything else because once it was donated, it stayed a topic for a few days and then everybody forgot about it because
I'll
Epstein
dig. I'll
Epstein
find
files
something.
happened, and now we messing with Iran. It's
And why were
just
presidents using planes, Epstein planes, when they should have had enough money to have their own planes? And when these presidents were in office, they were still using Epstein's planes. Let's talk about Bill Clinton. So why would Bill Clinton, if he has access to an American plane, get off of the grid and use Epstein's plane?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Why would you go over to operate on little African children? But you notice that they go to these exotic places, but they never go to Cuba. They never were going over
We're going
to.
they
there next.
donated.
Yeah, but
Guess
I'm
what?
saying
We'll
they
be
never
there
was
next.
going over. I mean, like Clinton, when they were doing these operations
The Clintons
and
would
stuff like
never,
that, they stayed away from Brazil.
because they're not going to be welcomed there with open arms. Unfortunately,
That's what I was going to ask you.
unfortunately, that continent allows missionaries to come there. They allow that. And that's going to be their downfall. And it has been their downfall all these doggone years. Stop allowing them people in there. These Asian countries don't allow that. You can't even, like, I looked up where I'm going to move to and settle down when I retire. You can't even buy land in some of these Asian countries. I looked up Thailand specifically. I would never be able to own land there. Even if I open up a business there, I will only be able to own the building, but not the land. I will only be able to own 49% of that building. I would never be the majority owner.
Can I ask a question?
That's what we should have done, because you got a lot of people coming over here and making money off of us. And it's not coming back to this. It's not coming back to us.
What's the
So
question, bro?
I got two before I get ready to go. Great show. I got
Okay.
two. I want to slide these in. So This one's kind of crazy to me. I just want to ask you, Peanut, I know you could probably elaborate. This is a good one for Peanut. Peanut.
Okay.
So with us having William Castlin missing, left his glasses, watch, phone, everything, come up missing in Albuquerque, New Mexico, close to Zorro Ranch, had all the intel on how to do it with satellites and everything. But now, which I'm going to cover, there are 4 more scientists that are missing, that disappeared the exact same way that William disappeared. Why would you think that these people that carry so much classified information are coming up missing?
I think. Go ahead. You want to answer that, Peanut, or you?
I mean, I'm just gonna be very direct with my answer. They stupid because they shouldn't have went over there anyway. Like that's like the journalists that come up missing when they
Wait, went
start
over where?
going into.
Went over where?
They shouldn't have went to Mexico and done any of that. And if they did, they should have been more carefully, and they should have went as a unit and as a team. And they should have made sure that they filmed everything that they were doing, so that way the truth would get out. You can't go into these places and think that you're just gonna write everything down and be done, and you're just gonna be able to come back home like everything is okay. That's like all the journalists that come up missing and some of these Arab countries and Russia and all these other places. Like you can't go somewhere, you can't go into another territory in somebody else's land and in somebody else's country and think that you're going to be able to maneuver as you do in America. And that's why Americans have bad names. You have to respect the law of the land in those countries that you are visiting.
True. I agree. I definitely agree on that.
So
And last but not
it is
least.
what it is with me.
So we know war is to cut down population, right? Also, population, less food, low supply on food, low supply on money. Now it's the situation with the fuel. Everybody with fuel. Now we know that we produce enough oil in our oil fields alone to just mind our business. So we know that there were a lot of money laundering going on, right? So our country being robbed, everybody that's Trump supporters, whatever, this is not, we're not biased to anything, but these people we have seen launder money, opening up LLCs that don't have nothing coming out of it. So that is the U.S. tax money. Don't nobody got nothing to say about that. And then not only that being done to us.
Well, listen to this, bro. And I just
now we're sending people to war to cut down the population because they have laundered enough money.
It's population control is a big thing, but
Absolutely.
they don't have to do all of that for population control. This is literally greed.
But listen, yeah, it is great because listen to this. Right before Trump made the announcement, the 48-hour announcement, someone that was in that room went and put money on a bunch of stock. Okay. And then when Trump announced that the 48-hour and then he did the 5 days, they made millions. Okay. Insider trading. And unfortunately, more than likely, they're going to get away with it because, they're all Republicans in office.
I'm going to piggyback on that.
Go ahead.
Right before COVID hit, Trump started opening up wineries. There's one in Charlottesville. I know we spoke about this before, but for the new people, he started opening up wineries. There's literally one up the street from my granny's house in Charlottesville, Virginia. He started opening up wineries. Now they're into the drone business. So while everybody's saying America first, he's America first, he's not. He knows what he's going to do, and they make sure that the plans are set to where they benefit off of it financially. That's all that's happening because he opened up that winery, and then a year or two, COVID hit.
Well,
Like
it's a lot going
like
on.
yeah, and now they're investing into the drone business, and now we're working with
Yes,
Ukraine to
they're
train
making
us.
tons.
Yeah, they're making drones. The
So
Trump
if
name
they're
is making
operating,
His sons
it,
is
yeah.
making big money.
right, his
Yes,
sons
they're
are
making
making, and
off
you
them
know, I had a
drums.
friend. Remember, I was telling you about YG. My partner, he been ahead of his time. They are investing. They're starting their own drone business now. With the drone business, now when I was just in Texas, me and Angel saw about 15 drones in the sky. Well, there's all these drones sitting here in Texas. So is it a possibility when things get really bad towards the end that they could fake that we are getting see my last thing is, you know, I'm a conspiracy theorist,
Well, they
is
already
when
said, bro, they already said that if an attack happens here, it's not going to be Iran, it's going to be the US, and
that
we're going to blame it on Iran.
damn girl, why you gotta just do my mind think from
Iran
ahead of me?
already, because Iran already
Yeah,
put that out. They already
yeah.
said they would never attack us
I
on our
said,
homeland.
damn, already. What is you, a mind reader or something? Let me make it sound good.
Oh, my
They
bad. Go
say
ahead,
that,
bro.
but still, we still gotta worry about. They say they would never attack us on our homeland, but we don't know
I don't
who's
think,
over there doing
I don't,
stuff.
I think it's
they,
gonna happen.
but it's not going to come directly from them. We already let those people in.
And I think when it hits, it's
We
gonna hit shit.
already, yeah,
It's gonna hit
those
Zorro Ranch.
people,
It's gonna hit shit that they trying to
yeah,
really destroy.
like the people that's going to attack us have already been here for years.
Absolutely.
Trump has let a lot of them in. Like we did a whole deep dive on this on one of your lives about how
Yeah.
they were already here.
Who?
And
Me?
no, with sis.
I figured.
So
Right.
about how some of these what do I want to call them? Because I don't want to vigilantes. So there were already a lot of these vigilantes here, and they have been here for years. Everybody likes to blame it on the Biden administration. Yes, he did let some people in, but Trump let a lot of these people in, a lot of these vigilantes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a hit and miss. Like, could it be possible that Obama let some of them in? Yes. Could it be possible that Biden let some of them in? Yes. Could it be possible that Trump let them in? Yes. It doesn't matter who let them in; they're still here.
Do you think we're chat, put a one in the chat, everybody. If you think that, put a one in the chat if you think that we're close. The closer we get to the Epstein files being resolved, because what I'm really thinking of is that what's going to happen is they're prolonging with these depositions. Who gives a damn about Epstein's attorneys taking the deposition? I think Lex Wexner. I think
Shoot, he part of the. No, hold up.
Howard
I
Lutnick.
don't want to go there. I don't want to go
Well,
there
they're
because
backsliding, sis.
this is about the war. But I'm getting ready to go there. I don't want to change topics. I want this to be about
Okay,
the war. But
okay.
listen,
I'm sorry about that.
I'm getting ready to go there because
I didn't
there was
mean it.
there was 5 major players in that: the attorney, the accountant, Les Wexner, Black. They all played a part in this. You think it's just Les Wexner and Ghislaine and
No.
Epstein? No. You saying
No.
that position was necessary?
Y'all about
No. Listen to what I'm saying. No, you got me
forth.
wrong, sis. I didn't mean for you to go there like that. That's what. If this is what I'm trying to say, I'm saying the way they're prolonging right now the distraction. This is what I'm saying. I see that comment about the
I
tunnels.
don't think you're prolonging.
No, but
This
listen
is
to what I'm
the
saying though. Just listen to what I'm
Congress.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying the prolong. This is just my opinion a little bit. The prolong is okay. We're distracting them, right? So they at the end, by the time his sentence is over, and to not end up putting him in jail for his doings, I think that who they're gonna take down. This is my opinion. Is Lex Wexner. Pam Bundy's gonna lose her job. Goddamn it. Pam Bundy's gonna lose her job. She's not gonna get locked up. They're gonna take Lex Wexner because of his doing, or he's gonna end up poisoned, allegedly. And I think that Cash Patel, he's gonna lose his job.
Well,
People
we
are just going
already,
to
we
lose their
already know.
job. It's the big
Well,
distraction. But
we
Donald
already
Trump will not
know.
be locked up.
But no, he's not because he has
No, he
immunity.
won't.
He
Right.
has immunity
So,
for any.
so
He has
Lutnick
immunity
is going
right
to
now.
end up poisoned, allegedly. Cash Patel is going to lose his job. And Pam Bundy's going to lose their job. Howard Lutnick, they might take his butt down or he's going to lose his job. Right now, with the three main heads, which is also, if everybody's paying attention, it's going in reverse. Nothing happened to Kristi Noem. Nothing.
Kristi Noem is in trouble.
She's in trouble, but she's not going to go to jail, sis.
Bro,
She's just gonna bang. It's gonna ride over, and she's just gonna lose her job.
Do with this, Kristi Noem wasn't caught up in none of that.
Okay,
But
bro.
on that note,
But the
it's
money
not
that she was spending on the planes and
but
all of the
bro.
money, the American tax money that she was
got an
spending,
answer
she
to that.
should have
She
been
did.
locked up, sis.
She should have been, but she got to.
They all should be locked up.
So they
She
all
did.
gonna get a pat on the back. This is what I'm saying. They're gonna get a pat on the
We'll
motherfucking
have
back.
to see.
Excuse my
We'll have
language.
to see.
But we can't go too far off topic because this is getting a little too deep.
Yeah, because now it's.
I'm
we at
sorry.
the
I
2.5.
shouldn't have did
No,
what I
Diamond Gang,
did.
It's
Listen,
a
we're
good
at the 2.5.
conversation for another day.
Yeah, we're at the 2.5 hour mark. I gotta cut this short because 11:30 he'll be walking through this door. So, but yeah, definitely got to get back into this conversation again because I think that they're going to make an example out of Kristi Noem. They're going to sacrifice her. I truly do.
Trump is good for a sacrifice, and he's good
And he's
for
going to
good firing.
sacrifice Kristi Noem.
Yeah, and he's good for good firing. We already know the Cash Patel guy is gone.
He's
It's just a
done.
matter of time.
Yeah.
Right now, the timing is not right.
Hey everybody, before I get ready to drop off,
He's gonna get rid of the woman first.
let me say this. Let me say this before I drop off. I love you, Peanut. I love you, YG.
I love you
Thank
too,
you
Love
boy.
you too.
for informing the people. I just want to say this before I leave. Y'all please super chat my sister, y'all.
Super chat, super sticker, hit
And
the
not
like.
only super chat my sister, y'all. She is the great, y'all. And she just started. She just started, gang. And look, man, she is the one. She's bringing it to you. She has served in our military. Peanut has served in our U.S. military. You talking to people that know stuff. So
Oh, his
please,
phone went out. Okay, I can hear you now.
I love you, sis. Keep doing what
Love
you're
you too,
doing.
bro.
You motivate me. And I'm glad that people can come in this chat and I think these people right now are dependent on you. That's why so many people are coming in your chat. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Peace and love to everybody. Stay
Thank
blessed
you,
and never
bro.
stress. It's your boy. We beat you, Band-Aid Gang, Diamond Gang, Peanut Gang. We love you, and I'm out. Peace.
All right, bro.
Love you, bro. Good
Thank
night.
you. Yeah, I can't wait to have that conversation, but we won't have it.
I can't
But
wait
I'm
either.
getting
It's
ready.
gonna be good.
You got any closing thoughts?
No, I think I pretty much said everything now. My bro already expressed what he does. We already know what my sis does because we're
Tell
here.
them what you got coming up next. What you got
So what I
coming.
have coming up next is just the introduction to Peanut. You'll get to know a little bit about me on a personal side and why I am as passionate as I am. But I am going to be following court cases. I am not going to be following viral cases. It's going to be cases that will shed light and inform you and educate you while I attend these court dates and update the people. So that's pretty much all it's going to be. So do not follow me if you're looking for viral cases because I will not be covering viral cases. I'll share someone out that's doing it, but I would not be covering viral cases. It will be cases of things that you never even heard about. And I would be covering that. It would mostly be North Carolina based because I live in North Carolina. But that's it. That is all. So I see you guys. Well, it's supposed to be tomorrow, but I have my daughter's cheer competition to go to now. So I will see you guys on Sunday for my live. Thank you so much for allowing me up, sis. Peace, love,
You're
and joy
welcome.
to you and yours. That love on you. Good night, people.
Thank you. You're welcome. Diamond Gang, I will be sharing her first live stream out on my community wall. Sassy, you're welcome, baby. Make sure you come back. You hear me? Make sure you come back. Oh, thank you, Sassy. Thank you so much. Listen, Diamond Gang, even if you have an opposing opinion, I will let you speak freely in my chat. All opinions will be respected. You just can't be disrespectful. I don't mean no harm. I'm just passionate in what I believe, and that's it, and that's all. I want to say shouts out to my subscribers, my new subbies. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. I dropped the link. You're more than welcome to come up, express how you feel. Again, you just can't be disrespectful. Shouts out to all my beautiful mods. I love y'all. Thank you for holding it down. And Diamond Gang, keep your notifications on because you just not, hey, I've been clicking this live button every day for a couple of weeks now. So I'm pretty sure I will be live tomorrow. And more than likely, if anything go down, it will be about the war. I may do an update on Epstein. I haven't done a live stream on Epstein in over a week. And there are some things that's going on in the Epstein files. The private investigators that went to get any evidence out of Jeffrey Epstein's house hid that evidence in storages. They are now trying to get, Congress is trying to get a hold of those private investigators. So there's an update to be had. Keep your notifications on. I may do it tomorrow afternoon. All right, Diamond Gang. So stay tuned, subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.
It's your under the breeze. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping